Hi everyone, welcome to our third info session of UC Week. My name is Lauren Pang and I'm one of the founders of Branham Alumni Network, which is a group of Branham alumni dedicated to helping high school students navigate the college applications process. And in the past, I've hosted a lot of the webinars, but today we have the lovely Chantal Wang, and she is going to host. And so I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm a senior at Branham High School. I'm the outreach coordinator for Bruin to Bruin. At Bruin to Bruin, we basically do like tutoring and we work with the Branham alumni on webinars such as these. Feel free to sign up. Our club is in the Notion page and you can find out about opportunities there. All right, so if you have any questions at all today, feel free to private message Emma, who's our UC Davis representative today. So here's what we'll be doing today. We'll have an alumni introduction, and then we'll have a few basic facts about the UC campus. We'll also have the interview with the alumni, and then we'll have a Q&A.
All right, hello everybody. My name is Emma Ratnaparkhi. I'm currently a third-year student at UC Davis, and I actually went to Branham. I graduated Branham back in 2018. So my major is neurobiology, physiology, and behavior. And I know that's kind of a mouthful, so we just say MPB normally, but basically what that is just biology minus all the plant stuff. So I basically study like the biology of humans and animals. And when I'm involved with that school, I've been in orchestra for a while, but sadly I can't do it anymore because of the pandemic. I'm also in a club called MedLife. We basically work on providing medicine, education, and development to low-income families around the world. And I'm also involved in research on campus in an attention and memory lab. We study how diseases like schizophrenia and other stuff affects your working memory and other parts of your brain. So way back when I was in high school, my biggest activity was marching bands. I've been playing flute and piccolo for a while, so I played in our marching band and I was actually flute section leader. I also worked at a math tutoring center, so that was pretty cool. I volunteered. I was also in the spare club, and I did some other random things, but I would say my main thing in high school was marching bands.
Okay, so some basic facts about UC Davis. It's in Davis, California. The academic calendar is the quarter system. The student to faculty ratio is 20:1. The acceptance rate is 41%, and the undergrad population is 30,872. Some popular majors are psychology, managerial economics, neurobiology, physiology, and behavior. For ranking, according to US News, it's the number 11 of the top public universities in America, and it's known for agricultural studies, communication, and economics. So, what factors contributed to your decision to pick your university?
Yeah, so that's a very good question because I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be accepted to multiple schools and you're going to have to decide, how do I choose? So for me, I chose Davis because I want to go into the healthcare field, and Davis has a very big emphasis on the whole pre-health sciences area. A lot of people there are pre-med, pre-vet, pre-PA, pre-dentistry. There's so many different possible careers in the healthcare field. And yeah, that's one of the main reasons I looked into Davis. Also, because I'm studying biology, Davis is one of the schools that has their own college of biological sciences. Most colleges, most universities have a college of letters and science or something along the lines, but Davis has a college specifically devoted to biology. So for me, as someone who's interested in biology in the healthcare field, there's so many different majors and ways to explore that and research opportunities. So that really appealed to me. And aside from academics, I kind of chose this school just because of the friendly atmosphere that it has. So as for the atmosphere of the campus, you can't really get to know that until you go take a tour of that school for yourself. But I toured Davis and I really loved it. Everyone is just so friendly, so welcoming, so kind. because ultimately where you go to college, you're going to be spending a lot of time with those people. So you want to make sure that you like them a lot, because while most people you meet are going to be nice, you want to make sure that you have the same energy as them because you want to enjoy your time in college.
Describe the demographic/vibe of your school.
Yeah, so like I just said before, everyone is very, very friendly and welcoming. I really like that a lot. Of course, there's always a few people who are going to be cliquey, but overall, for the most part, people are not that cliquey here, which I love. Like, people are very open to making new friends, joining new things, like trying, basically just exploring their options when it comes to friendship and stuff. So it's very friendly and welcoming here. Additionally, I like the vibe of how everyone is very health conscious. Like everyone is very into biking and working out, and it just feels good to have people around you that encourage you to be healthy. So as for the demographics, this school is very ethnically diverse. You can look up the exact numbers on the UC Davis website, but for the most part, there are people from all over California, all over the country, and all over the world. And I think that's really cool because on my floor in freshman year, I met a girl who was from Russia, someone who was from Indonesia, someone from China, someone from India, someone from Nigeria. So you get a lot of different perspectives when you meet people that are from all over the world. So I really like Davis because of its ethnic diversity, because it's really cool to experience other cultures. Like if you have friends from somewhere else, they're gonna like have you come to like their dance festival or have you try their food. It's just really exciting to get to know more about this kind of stuff. And then another part of the demographics is the gender breakdown. So what surprised me a lot at Davis is that there are significantly more females than males. So I guess if you're interested in dating females, that's good for you. But if you're interested in dating males, it could be a little rough. But obviously, dating is not the most important part of college. But just the gender breakdown is something that surprised me when I came here. And then also, well, Davis has a lot of different majors and fields of study. One kind of breakdown of the school is that most of the students you're going to meet are going to be pre-health somehow. By pre-health, that means like pre-med, pre-vet, pre-PA. That just means a career in which you're going into a field in which you take care of people. So it also, well, for me, that was a really good thing because I like being around people that are also pre-health. But if you're not pre-health and you don't like being around people that are all the same major and you're not that major, you might want to just keep that in mind. But I'm not trying to say that there are no people of other majors at Davis. That's absolutely not true. We have so many majors. I'm just saying that a significant proportion of the school is going to be talking about applying to med school.
So what major activities go on at your campus? What are you involved in?
Yeah, so the major activities at Davis are pretty typical for most colleges. So we have some pretty big sports teams. Like everyone gets pretty hyped for the football games and the basketball games. We definitely have frats and sororities too. So back before the pandemic hit, people would go to frat parties a lot. So those are the main ones. But a lot of people have jobs and internships. I will say though, because we're a very big school, as like most of the UCs are, it can be kind of difficult to get an internship, especially if you're in a field like a pre-health field where like everyone needs the same kind of internship for like experience on their resume. It can be competitive, but I think it keeps us on our toes, so it's good. Yeah, so the major activities at Davis are pretty typical of most schools. But what I like about Davis is that there's just so much of a variety of activities. Like we literally have hundreds of student organizations. Oh yeah, sorry, one thing I forgot to mention before is that cultural clubs are very big at UC Davis. That means like people from like a certain culture will like get together, kind of celebrate their heritage, have like banquets and dance shows, and those are really popular. But back to what I was saying, there are so many different organizations on campus. Like there's literally a club for everything, which I think is really good because we have a big involvement fair every year. We get to like walk around to all the clubs. You get to sign up and join them. And as for what I'm involved in, Probably my biggest activity right now is a club called MedLife. I know I mentioned that before. Basically, what we do is we try to provide medicine, education, and development to low-income families around the world. I actually got the opportunity to travel with that club to Ecuador last summer to volunteer there for like a pretty cheap price. So that was an amazing opportunity. So Davis has a lot of travel opportunities like that. I mean, assuming this pandemic ends, they'll start back up again. But I really like that. As for jobs here, I've worked here before. There's a lot of jobs on campus, and also there's a lot of jobs that are like downtown, just within the city. So there's plenty of jobs here. As for internships, I intern in a research lab, and we study attention and working memory. It's actually pretty cool because for each experiment we have, people come in and we get to like basically ask them questions and give them a little memory test, and you're like in charge of all the data, and you feel really fancy. Which I think is really cool about that is because when you're a little kid, you always see like those pictures of like a scientist like in a lab coat, kind of like hunching over the data, just like crunching numbers. You kind of actually get to do that at a research lab here. So if you're interested in just like kind of learning a lot or furthering your knowledge in a certain subject, I would definitely recommend getting into research. And that's one of the things UC Davis is great about. We are a research university, as are most of the UCs. So there are so many opportunities for research. Granted, there are a ton of research opportunities, but there are like 30,000 undergraduates, so it can be competitive, but I definitely recommend that if you do come to a school that has research opportunity, just try to take part in it because you're going to grow. Like it's not just like a boost for your resume. It also really helps you learn a lot. And then like I said before, I did orchestra here for a while. That was pretty cool. For anyone who's currently a musician now, I would say orchestra in college is a bit different because it goes at like a much faster pace. Like in high school band, you kind of get time to like rehearse in class, or the teacher might like go on a tangent about something and spend time talking. But in the college orchestra, the conductor is more like to the point, and you don't get to really rehearse in class. So the responsibility is on you to practice outside of class, and I think that's kind of nice, honestly, because it puts a lot more accountability on every person to do their best. Oh yeah, one other thing I do is that I am part of the mentorship program here. So I basically mentor like incoming freshmen and talk them through their first year because I think that's important. It's basically the equivalent of Link Crew.
Okay, so what do you love about your school?
One of the things I love most about the school, like I said before, is the vibe. Like everyone here is literally so friendly. It's just really easy for me to kind of click with people here because everyone is so welcoming. Everyone genuinely wants the best for each other. And like yeah, a lot of us are pre-meds, we're competitive, but there's no sabotaging going on. It's just that everyone is doing the best they can for themselves, and you're all rooting for your friends to do the best that they can. So we're all pushing ourselves to be better, but no one is trying to take each other down, and I really like that. Another thing I love about the school is biking everywhere. It's just a really nice way to get like a breath of fresh air in the middle of your day. And also the school has like a very naturey campus. There's this really pretty area called the Arboretum. It's basically a gigantic pond with lots of ducks, geese, other kinds of wildlife, and little trails around it. It's very relaxing to be able to go there and just kind of sit in nature, like for a break during a busy day. And then importantly, we actually have cows on campus. Like we literally have dairy cows just sitting in the middle of campus. I don't think too many schools have that, but it is so much fun to literally just, I don't know, take some time out every day to go pet a cow. They might try to eat your hair, but it's pretty worth it in my opinion.
What's your least favorite part, and what improvements do you wish upon your school?
Yeah, I would say my least favorite part of the school is that, especially in the lower division classes, the classes are so big. So I've had trouble like kind of getting quality time with the professors. And I know that changes as you go up, but it can just be very frustrating as a freshman. Your like intro bio class is like 500 people, and you have like a genuine question, but like you just there's not that much time in office hours or after class to talk to your professor. So I kind of wish that the professors would hold a bit more office hours just so they could bond more with the students. And then And another improvement I wish on my school is that you dorm your first year, but after your first year, you're essentially supposed to move into off-campus apartments. And as for me, I live in an off-campus apartment now. That's actually where I am at this moment. But I felt like dorming was much more convenient because when you dorm, you're like literally on campus. You have like a meal plan. It just saves a lot of time. And I've been okay recently with like grocery shopping and cooking and cleaning for myself, but it's really hard to learn that all of a sudden because I basically went from like living at home in high school to living in a dorm where I was only in charge of my room. I had my meals cooked for me and people would like clean like the common areas, and now I basically have like my own apartment where like I'm in charge of everything. So it's a lot of responsibility to bear on top of classes. But that being said, this definitely prepares you for life after college. And like, yeah, other than those two things, the really large class sizes and the dorming situation, I don't think I changed that much about Davis. Those are definitely my two biggest pet peeves.
What things would you have told your high school senior you about your school?
Yeah, I would have told myself in high school to just get involved earlier because like I am very involved on campus now, like as I told you guys before when I was like listing my activities. But during my freshman year, especially fall quarter of freshman year, I was just like a little bit scared. I was like, oh, should I go to this meeting? Should I try out for this thing? I don't know anybody in it. Like, what if it doesn't work out? I would have just told myself to just go for it because the truth is in college, when you join these activities, a lot of people will come in not knowing anyone and you make really close friends there. And I mean, obviously, not everything you go out for is going to work, but a lot of them really will. Like for example, the club I'm in called MedLife, I didn't really do anything with them fall quarter or freshman year, but I just kind of went to the meetings for the club and like hung out in the back, like being all shy and scared. But during winter, whatever, like, hey, we're going to forgot what it was called. We're going to like this like lake house for a weekend. Do you want to come? And I was like, okay. So I went and I got to bond with a lot of the people. And now like I'm on board of the club and I'm probably gonna be on board till I graduate. So you never know. Like my advice to my senior self would just be like, go for it. Try new things. Like don't be afraid because UC Davis has so many opportunities.
Okay, so now's our Q&A section. If you have any questions, feel free to send it to Emma through private message or just send it to everyone. Yeah.
All right, yeah. So I got one question and it says, how do you make enough money? So I'm assuming this person is meaning like from work and to cover tuition. So I'm very fortunate that my family is able to help me pay for college. So money isn't like the biggest worry on my mind, but UC Davis does give a lot of financial aid, especially to like lower income families. So if that's something that you're worried about, you can definitely talk to the financial aid office because I know some people that have their tuition completely covered and all they pay for is housing. And rent here, oh yeah, what about for my apartment? Yeah, sorry, I'm still reading. Yeah, as for my apartment, my parents are able to help me out with that too, but I would say like right now, I'm paying like about $400 a month for a double. So like I mean, of course, like it's really hard to work in college, but it's not, the rent here is not unreasonably high. So if you, because some people get financial aid that will cover their housing as well. So if that's your situation, hopefully that'll work out for you. But yeah, I would say I'm not the best person to ask about these money questions, but you can definitely talk to the financial aid office because I know people that have like pretty much almost all of their expenses, like including their textbooks covered. All right, so the next question, what's the food like? Very important. So yeah, I should have gotten to this one earlier, but the food here, in my opinion, is like actually really, really good. We have some like areas on campus we call dining commons. That's where the freshmen go eat from the dorms. So at least in the way it was when I was a freshman, they were open from like 7 a.m. until midnight. You can just go in anytime during the day, which is really nice because everyone has like a different class schedule. And for breakfast, they would normally have like a huge like bar, a thing of like fruit and yogurt, like a egg station. There's this dude who makes omelets and it was so good, like pancakes, like a waffle maker, bacon. Yeah, lots of good stuff. And then for lunch and dinner, they would always have like these really big salad bars, like lots of like fresh fruits and veggies. And they have this big Mongolian wok station, which is also really good. You can like build your own bowl and like they basically just like fry it up for you. And other than that, they try making a lot of like different cultural foods to make students like feel at home. And I would say like most of like their different cultural foods are pretty good. They just need a little bit of spice, but it's okay. Like I just add chili flakes to everything, so it's fine. But yeah, honestly, the food here, in my opinion, is really good. They also have a lot of vegetarian and vegan options, or like if you're or like halal and kosher options if that's something that you're interested in. So I would say the food here is really decent. What's the engineering program like? I'm specifically interested in industrial engineering. Unfortunately, I do not really know the answer to that question. I don't know anyone who does industrial engineering here, but I can try and look up some stuff after this for you if you want. What do you do when you're not in class, clubs, working? Are there any cool places around campus aside from hiking trails? Yeah, so Davis is honestly kind of in the middle of nowhere. We call it like University of Cow Droppings, like UCD. But there are some fun things to do. There's a lot of restaurants to go eat at downtown that are actually like affordable for students. Like there's this one place that has like $5 sushi rolls and they're so good. I'm not sure how it's that cheap, but no one's gotten food poisoning yet and it tastes really good. So we're chilling. There's a lot to do in downtown. People here in general are just like very social. Like people just have like little get-togethers all the time. I mean, not right now with the pandemic, but like in general. Um, there's also some like really pretty naturey areas around here, and a lot of clubs will host like movie nights and events. So I know it's not like the most exciting place to think about, but there is a lot to do if you're looking in the right places. Okay, what are the extra costs like? Like housing and apartments and textbooks and other materials. Yeah, so like I was saying before, I'm paying about $400 for like a double right now. It's like a single goes for like $800. So that's like typical rent for Davis. As for food here, I would say like the food here is actually cheaper than it is in San Jose. I guess everything's just expensive in San Jose for some reason. For textbooks, they just started this program called Equitable Access where you pay like a certain like flat rate per month, sorry, per quarter, and you get like all your textbooks from that. But they might switch it back to the normal way you just buy your own textbooks. But the good news is you can always go to the bookstore and buy your textbook. That can be like pretty expensive. Like some of them are like hundreds of dollars, but you can almost always buy it off of another student for really cheap. What is it like to double major in multiple departments? I am not entirely sure about that, but it's definitely doable. I know people that have done it. How long would it extend your time there? It really depends on the major. Like if you're doing two humanities, you can make it out in 4 years, but if it's two STEM majors, maybe like 5. How are gym facilities and sports? What levels of sports are there? So our gym here is actually really, really nice. It's a pretty good environment, whether like you're really into working out or whether you're a beginner, everyone is just super welcoming. Like people try to help you out if you don't know what you're doing. Unfortunately, that's closed right now. And as for sports, honestly, I'm not a huge sports person, but I do know that like a lot of our teams are like pretty highly ranked. So you can probably look at those exact rankings online, but I think we have like kind of like the top class for a lot of sports. What kinds of things are there to do in the city? How far is your apartment from campus? Yeah, so in the city, like I said, there's a lot of shops, a lot of restaurants. There's like a lot of live music going on. It's really nice to chill there. There's just in general a lot of random events. Like we've had a few parades this year where people just give out free stuff and kind of party. I'm not exactly sure what, but I'm not complaining. And the city of Davis just like hosts events, like not the university, but the city itself. And a lot of them involve like random farm animals, like petting llamas and stuff. So that's pretty cool. And For anyone if you're going to be 21, I heard there's like a very good bar scene in the city, like for drinking. I'm not 21 yet, so I wouldn't know. But not that you guys should be like drinking a lot in college, but I'm just saying if you want to go out for like an occasional beer with your friends once this pandemic is over, that's an option. Uh, what AP classes did I take in high school? So I took a lot of AP math, like AP Calc, AB, BC, AP Stats. I did AP Bio and AP Physics, and then I also did AP Lang and AP Lit. And I would say those classes definitely helped me like prepare for what would be expected of me in college. And then, okay, the last question I see right now is, what's your average day like on campus? So I'm going to answer that with a pre-coronavirus mindset because right now my average day is very confusing. I don't know what's going on. Nobody does. But yeah, I would say I would get up in the morning, eat breakfast, probably go to class. Then I go in between classes. In my breaks, I go to the library to study. After that, I probably go to like my work or my internship or what's going on. Take a break for like dinner and homework, go to like orchestra or whatever's going on. Then I just come home and chill with my friends. Okay, this is probably going to be the last question because we're running out of time, but what's your major and why do you think it is something that and what do you think that is something that made your application stand out in your college or your major? So my major is neurobiology, physiology, and behavior, which is basically biology minus all the plant sciences. And what made your application stand out? Obviously, I'm not one of the admissions officers. I can't know for sure what made my application stands out. But I think something good about my application is that my resume was very well balanced. Like I had like leadership, volunteering, a variety of club stuff. I had like kind of experiences in a lot of different areas. And yes, I will let you know my email address, but I think that's going to be it from me today because we're moving on to UC Merced now. So thank you guys for all of your questions, and I'll send my email in the chat for you.
Thank you so much, Emma, for giving us all of that amazing information about your school. It sounds like you're having an amazing time in college, and
I am.
yeah, that was really helpful. Next, we're going to move on to UC Merced. Feel free to stick around even if you didn't, what's it called, RSVP for this next section. And Julie, you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, my name is Julie. I'm a third year at UC Merced. My major is management and business economics, and currently I am a part of the microfinancing project on campus, and it's only a group of like 10 people right now without the advisors. And in high school, I did tennis for 2 years, Interact for 4 years, and I was president during my senior year, and I did badminton for 3 years as well.
Okay, so some basic facts of UC Merced. So it's in Merced, and the academic calendar is a semester system. The student-faculty ratio is 20:1. The acceptance rate is 66%, and the undergraduate population is 7,881. Some popular majors are biological and biomedical sciences, engineering, and psychology. Its ranking is number 44. It's known for best Hispanic serving institutions and public health. What factors contributed to your decision to pick your university?
UC Merced definitely wasn't my first choice, to be honest, but initially I did want to go to Santa Cruz because of the location and my major. Um, but since I didn't get into those schools, my options were UC Riverside, San Jose State, and UC Merced. So what really contributed into picking Merced was the location. I didn't want to be too far away from home, or yeah, I didn't want to be too far away from home, and I also didn't want to be too close. So that's why I eliminated San Jose State, and then I eliminated Riverside just because it was too far, and I didn't really hear much about the school in general. So I just stuck with UC Merced, and I gave it a shot. It's only 2 hours away from home, and if I wanted to go anywhere, Yosemite is pretty close. It's only about an hour away. Getting to LA, which I took 2 trips so far, it's only about a 5-hour drive. And if I ever do need to go home, it's always there. I can easily find rides just through carpooling, or I can get a ride from my parents.
Describe the demographics/vibe of your school.
The demographics is pretty diverse on campus. You'll see like every single type of person there is. There's definitely more minority groups for sure, and you'll notice that there's more of like a Hispanic, uh, like there's more Hispanic people on campus, and I would describe the vibe as pretty relaxed and cozy. You'll be able to find tight knit communities. So you'll be able to find your friends, and yeah.
What major activities go on at your campus? What are you involved in?
So the major activities would definitely just be, there's intramural sports, there's fraternities and sororities, there's clubs, and the most important thing is that there's research. So every single week before COVID, we had, there's this thing called tabling. So on campus, especially during, like on the quad area, we would have clubs and Greek organizations tabling to recruit new members, and like people would just walk around, especially when you're walking to class. You'll approach these tables and you'll ask them what their organization is about, and they'll let you know like any information that you'll ask, and you can sign up for meetings. Just get to know the members of the club or organization, and just put yourself out there so that they know who you are and expect to see you at their clubs. For clubs, you'll see some that are professional, some that are more social. So things such as Business Society, there's Yosemite Leadership Program, there's Vietnamese Student Association, there's a Filipino American Alliance, Boxing Club, Hack Merced, and there's like many more. I think that's something that you'll be able to, you'll always be able to find something that will suit your personality, hobby, or interest on campus. And like I said earlier, this year I joined the Microfinance Project, which partners with a nonprofit organization called Kiva to provide microloans to small businesses in Merced. And as for internships, the Career Center sends out emails about every single day to show you like new internships that they have found that covers for all majors, and they also have workshops that help with your resume, cover letters, and interview preparation.
What do you love about your school?
So for me, I love that this campus is small. I didn't really know what to expect coming into the campus, but um, now I really like that the class sizes are really small. My largest lectures now are around 60 people, which is pretty rare, I feel, for other schools. And the largest class I've ever had was during my first and second year, and we had about 200 to 300 people, which is like the largest lecture halls we hold currently. And other than that, I like that I'm able to have my independence, especially because after the first year, we were supposed to move off campus. Even though the school still provides housing, now they actually want you to stay on campus for 2 years. And even if you decide to move off campus, um, they have they have housing that's provided by the school. So they'll give you a meal plan, or you'll have extra money to use on campus for food, especially if you're at school. But you also have the option of cooking at home. But currently for me, I'm living at a house with my friends, and each person, I have four housemates, including myself. So we have a 4-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, and each person pays around $500 for their own room, which is nice. And the buses are still close to us. We only walk about 3 minutes to get to the bus stop, and our stop is like the last one before it gets onto campus. So we just go to campus right away, and when we go home, we're the first stop to go back.
What's your least favorite part? What improvements do you wish upon your school?
My least favorite part would just be the lack of transportation that they give us. Like, yes, we have like good transportation to get to school, especially during like pre-COVID times, but if you wanted to explore and just go to like the city or get out of Merced, it would definitely be kind of hard. If you wanted to go home, you can find rides through carpooling, or you can find rides through just like people you know, like especially your friends. And we have Zip Cars, which is a membership that you can. It's like a separate company that isn't associated with the school really, but you buy or you pay for a membership where you get a card and you can pay for by the hour to use cars that are parked on campus, and you can use that for the whole day. You can drive to different cities if you want, but I wouldn't say that's like really accessible for every single person. Um, but I think that the school, like, I feel like the only improvement that it needs is that it just needs to grow. It's still pretty small, and I can't really blame them because it literally is a new school. But just this year, we got a new gym, new dorms, new classrooms. We have a swimming pool, a new soccer field, new research labs. So, I mean, like the school is still growing. So that's just something to expect. But definitely, like transportation, if you want to try to go out, is harder if you don't have like the connections for it.
What things would you have told high school senior you about your school?
If I would to go back, I would tell myself to definitely make the most out of college. You only have 4 years, and honestly, it goes by really, really fast. Um, you should take any opportunity that like comes your way and just put yourself out there, because I made that mistake. My first year, I told myself, okay, I'll join Greek life. I'll do a sorority or I'll join a professional fraternity. But in the end, I got too shy and I didn't do it. And then I went to my second year and I told myself that I would do it after during the second semester. But since COVID hit, it wasn't really possible. So now I'm trying to step out of my comfort zone, and I joined the microfinancing project. And I feel like that was perfect for me just because it is a smaller group, um, which is less intimidating than joining like a large organization such as fraternities that could have up to like 100 people, I feel. And there's definitely really large clubs, but I feel like for me, I'm just more, I rather have like a tight knit community. And I'm glad that I was able to find that, and it's something that helps with my major as well. So yeah, if I were to go back to tell my senior self, I would just tell myself to step out of my comfort zone, and even if I keep telling myself to to go back and just not do it, like I should just force myself to do it anyways.
Okay, so now is our Q&A session. So just feel free to send any questions to the chat or privately. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question about the engineering program. What's the ranking and how is the industrial engineering program like specifically? Personally, I don't really know um, like specifically for industrial engineering, but I I know that they have good programs. I think recently they worked with NASA to um, they were sending something to Mars, and they just did it this year. Uh, yeah, I'm not really sure about industrial engineering, but I had my first year I had a roommate, and her sister was a environmental engineering. She did environmental engineering, and she did a lot of research, and she double majored and graduated in 3 years, did internships and helped the school with solar panels. So there's definitely opportunities. You just have to look for it, and definitely talk to your professors. I just know that the STEM programs is really good, especially for research. And then one question is, what is the food like? The food honestly is not that great. If you go off campus, it's the most food you'll get is Thai food, and you'll get Mexican food, which is like decent, but you're gonna get tired of it quickly. So for me, I just have to learn how to cook, and that's what I'm doing. I just cook for myself. I just go to the grocery store, I get my food, I cook my own everything for myself, or I'll cook with my roommates. and that's about it. Okay, what do I do for fun when I'm not in class or studying? I do a lot. Before COVID, I would wake up early. I would go to the gym. I would take the bus, go to the gym at school, go through all my classes, go back home. I would go on a walk because I live right next to a park. Um, I'll walk, I'll run, or at home, I'll learn how to cook different meals every single week. I'll play games, video games, and I've been doing crocheting. I've been trying to crochet a blanket, and that's about it. How do I make money for my apartment or food? So thankfully, my financial aid covers a lot of my expenses. My financial aid for this year has been able to cover my tuition, and I have enough to pay for my rent as well. There's other people who have a lot of leftover money, even from or from financial aid, because their housing is a lot cheaper than mine. So I picked an area that was close to school, and um, it's a brand new house, and we have all our utilities paid for. So it's definitely a little bit more expensive. But I know some people who pay only $300 per month and only pay around like $50 for utilities. And let's see, um, there's other areas, if you, especially if you share a room, some people pay up to like 200 a month. So it's definitely really cheap to live in Merced. Uh, so hopefully if you can save some money, maybe you can get a car, and then you can use that car to travel to more places as well. What's the weirdest class you heard of, and how are the dorms? The weirdest class I heard of. I'm not really sure about the weirdest class, but I'm taking sports economics right now, and all my professor talks about is football, and I really have no clue what they're talking about at all. But the dorms are pretty nice. The new ones are very clean. There's up to 6 floors, I'm pretty sure, and there's single wait no there's no singles, there's doubles and there's triples, and the old dorms also have quads, so you have 4 roommates, and I heard the quads are pretty big. But the one most of the dorms, you'll have like a communal bathroom. There's a kitchen downstairs at the very bottom, so you can go to the kitchen and cook whenever you want, as long as there's nobody else in there, of course. And the dorm that I specifically stayed in my first year was, um, let's see, it was a dorm where it was all triples. So each person had each room had 3 people, and my dorm especially had a bathroom that shared with another room. So it wasn't like a communal one in a way. Like we had our own bathroom, so we had to clean it on our own. But all the other dorms, the custodians would clean it for you. What APs did I take in high school? In high school, I took AP World History, AP Comp Sci, AP Physics, AP Stats, AP Calc AB and BC, and my math APs transferred over, but the other ones didn't, and it's okay because the only ones that really mattered for my major were the math ones, and it allowed me to get ahead. And right now I'm able to graduate in next fall, so that's a semester early. What type of activities do you like to do around campus? What's the average day like on campus? So activities on campus, there's, like I said before, there's intramural teams. People like to do sports. Honestly, the sports teams probably aren't the best, but I heard the basketball teams and the soccer teams are pretty good for the males and females. Uh, I'm personally not really like, I'm not on any intramural teams, but I had friends who did intramural basketball, and that was pretty fun for them. But prior to COVID, I would wake up around 6 or 7, make breakfast, take the bus, go to the gym, do everything on campus, and then once I go home, I'll take a break for a bit, and then I'll cook my meals, play some games, and then I'll do all my homework. And I have a rule where, like, I'm able to grind out all of my homework and like schoolwork on Monday to Friday. So on the weekends, I just don't really do any schoolwork unless really, really necessary. And I'll hang out with my friends. So yeah. What are sports and gyms like? Do you have a college planning counselor? If you did, do you think it helped? So the sports, like I said, there's intramural teams, there's like the regular teams that compete. There's the gyms. We have a new one that just got built. I don't even know what it looks like because nobody's allowed to be on campus. Even though I'm in Merced, I try to go on campus just to see like what the new facilities were like, but there's cops that are there that don't allow us to go on campus unless it's absolutely necessary. Uh, and the old gyms, they're pretty small. There's a basketball court that kind of like the size of the one at Branham, and then there's two gyms on the side. So then there's one that has more like cardio equipment, and then the other one is definitely more for like everything like strength and cardio. I felt like for me it wasn't too busy. Maybe it was because of the time that I went at. Like I would go early in the morning, or I would go in between my classes, and I never felt like it really filled up until maybe after 5 o'clock. So yeah, I don't think it was really that big of a deal. For college counselor, I didn't really have a college counselor, but every year that I was at school, we had to talk to an advisor before our next uh, like registration time. So during my first year, I just did it at the very end of my second semester, and the advisor told me what to take to be on track to graduate. But I feel like something that's really easy is that on our portals for school, we have this thing called a my degree path, right? So you'll put in your major, and it'll tell you like all the classes you need to take, and you can just drag and drop to where which semester you want to take it in, just to like plan, right? Like it's not for sure you're not going to be able to get exactly what you want at the exact same semester that you would like, but it's just it's just to see what you can do. And for me, that helped a lot because I was able to plan like my 4-year plan to see um, when I would take these classes. And sometimes, if I was lucky, I would be able to take an extra class. Uh, and I feel like there's just a lot of classes that I have been able to take. And even if I didn't get the class I wanted, I just had the mentality that like I'm just going to take a different class, even if I didn't really want to take it, just to get it over with. And currently, right now, I'm taking 20 units, which is 5 classes. And yeah, okay. Was there anything about Merced that surprised you when you first arrived at campus? What are the facilities like there, the libraries and labs? Um, what surprised me was that it's really small. Like from the parking lot to the very end of campus, it's about like a mile and a half walk. So the the parking lot is at the very bottom if you're just looking at it on a map, and then the end of the school is just like straight north. So it's kind of like a line. You're just walking in a line. There's a lake on the side of the school, but we originally the school was supposed to be built around the lake, but it didn't because of there's fairy shrimps there, and they couldn't build because it would harm the environment there. The school is still pretty new, so everything is pretty modern. Like the classrooms, you won't see like chalkboards or anything. It's all projectors, all whiteboards. It's pretty clean, and the new labs, I haven't really been there just because I'm not a science major, but from what I heard, they're really clean, they're new. And in the new buildings that I had my first semester last year, it's really nice. Like it just looks like a giant stadium. And even though like I'd heard some schools like for their larger classrooms about like 300 people, it looks kind of like literally like a movie theater where you don't have a table or anything, but this one is a big classroom, and you still have a desk, so you're not like uncomfortable, and your elbows aren't touching like other people as well. um, Another question, does UC Merced limit the number of classes you can take per semester? Are there electives, and what's it like to get a minor there? So the number of classes you take definitely depends, but I think there's a limit. You can only take 22 units maybe. I'm not really sure on the specific number, but you can for sure take 5 classes if you have the if you fulfill like the requirements for it. You have to have a good GPA standing. You couldn't have failed any classes in your prior semester. And for electives, um, for your requirements, you definitely have to take some like so-called electives, right? Like it's just general education. So you have to take some courses that aren't a part of your major just because it's a requirement. Like I'm taking a public health course, even though it's not a part of my major, but it's a requirement that I had to take a course in a different major. And we have these things called like badges, which is also just a part of the general education. So you're just taking classes that um, are interesting to you, and it's going to fulfill like a requirement. And is it difficult to get internships or jobs? For jobs like off campus, I don't think it would be too hard. There's boba shops, there's restaurants, there's retail, uh, and I feel like for the most part they're always hiring. And from my friends, one friend, she was able to get a job pretty quickly when she needed one. But on campus, I applied multiple times to different jobs on campus, but I never really got a call back just because I feel like they already have people, and the competition for on-campus jobs is pretty high because it's more convenient since they're working around your schedule a lot more. You're probably going to be working like 2 hours in between a class and then again after class or something like that. Um, but yeah, there's definitely jobs, and some that would actually help with your major as well. For internships, the school, we have a career center and they send out emails every single day to provide like all the internships that's available. I don't think it's too hard to get an internship, especially prior to COVID. There would be different companies that would come on campus where all the other clubs would table as well, and you would get in contact with them, talk to them, get them to know you, and especially if they show up multiple times, if they remember your face, then that's already making a good impression. And from there, they might offer you something, or you can ask them like, hey, what can I do, even if it's unpaid. I don't think it's like too hard to get a job or internship, I mean, because there's just a lot of opportunities. You just have to apply for them. And if you aren't really interested in internships, I know a lot of students do research on campus, especially for my bio friends. They have done research for graduate students or their professors, and some of them could get paid after a certain amount of time. But even if you're not getting paid, I still feel like that's a really good opportunity to get research for like, especially on campus. How does UC Merced assist students in getting jobs and internships related to their majors? Oh, like I said, each college, like for STEM, science, social science, and humanities, like all those colleges have different. You have a different advisor or just like a different person that's leading it, and they'll send out internships every single day, every single week, to remind you like, hey, there's an opportunity that you should take. Like today or this last week, I kept getting emails for an internship for Wells Fargo, for investment banking. There's just a lot of different opportunities. I don't really know about all the other majors for sure, but I just know that there's a lot of research that you can do on campus. And I've heard people who, even in the for econ majors, even though I heard it's hard to get like do research, I had a friend who did research for econ last year, and she was only a second year. Do I have any tips for doing college applications? Definitely proofread a lot. Proofread your essays for UCs, and don't uh, don't put like random stuff just to make yourself like seem more appealing. Do make yourself stand out by like doing extracurriculars. I'm not really sure how you guys can do that right now, but uh, just make yourself stand out. Like especially your essays, make sure you have a teacher that reads it and ask them for feedback on how you can sound more appealing and have your words sound more credible. What is the best way to make friends in college besides having majors in common? They have social events, but prior to COVID, they always had social events where during the first week of school, they would have Target night where everybody would go to Target. They would have a sale. They would have socials where people would just come and they would provide food. You would just talk to people. They had movie nights. And I don't know, there's just like a lot of things that like happen on campus, like events that the kind of like it's kind of like ASB, right? Like they'll make events and you can go to them. Last year we had this thing called Treats and Beats. So they had LMA come, or this was during my first year actually. They had LMA come and during Halloween, and we had like a carnival in a way, and everybody just came to that. They have Cabapalooza where I forgot, but like I think they have like a comedian come as well. So there's a lot of events that you can attend as well. Yeah, there's just a lot of things you just have to look out for. They always post it on Facebook. They post it on through your emails on the school page and everything like that. Is there anything you wish you had done in high school before going to Merced? Yeah, I wish I didn't take AP classes that I didn't need to take. So originally in high school, I wanted to do comp sci or engineering for my major for college, but really last minute, I was like, when I was taking AP physics and AP comp sci, I was like, okay, this is really not for me. So then I changed it to my next option, which was something that related to math. And I just did econ, and right now I feel like econ is like something that I'm pretty good at, and it makes sense to me. But just going back to high school, I would just kind of have like a vision in your mind that it, like, if you know what you want, take those steps that would help you to do that. And if it's possible, try to even get internships even in high school. Don't wait until like the last minute. Just try to get like all the experience you can get. Do you have a tip on picking a major, especially for indecisive students? Well, for Merced, you can just come in as undecided. I know people who came in undecided and they took like different general ed courses, like all the classes that end with the number one, like econ one, psychology one, poli sci one, all of that. You can just take those courses for a semester, see if you like it, and then you can continue taking courses like in that way, and then you can pick your major. Like you don't have to come in knowing um like what major you want to do. Even that, like you can pick, let's say like I picked econ, right? But then after my first semester, I didn't want to take it anymore. I could just go to my advisor and ask them to change it and do a different major that I want to do. It's definitely not competitive. You don't have to apply to um, join like engineering or go into like the econ department or anything like that.
Are there more questions, or should we wrap up?
I think that was the last question.
Oh, perfect timing then. It is 5:02. Well, thank you so much, Julie, for joining us today. I think all of the information you gave was super, super insightful and helpful. And so I really appreciate it.
Thank
And I'm
you.
sure everyone else does too. And also thank you to everyone who came today. You guys had the best questions ever. And I just really appreciate everyone. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And I hope to see you tomorrow, also at 4, for our next info session. Thank you so much.